Welcome, 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 one and all. We move over to our diamond in the crown jewel of the ARC IndyCar iRacing season. We are here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Indy 250. It is a once per season event. Half distance race. Most of our races are around 40% distance. This one we're going the full halfway, 100 laps around this historic rectangular course. My name is Keegan Scott, and I am joined tonight by the one, the only Dean Biggles. We're going to be bringing you all the action. Dean, how are you doing today?
I'm excited to be this classic track, isn't it? The historical track is one of the best tracks that there is in any motor racing calendar. Absolutely. Stepping in for Will, of course. So I won't be able to provide you that exciting engineering information he'll get, obviously, here on the Indy cars. But I'll tell you what, I'll try my best. Looking forward to it. Charles is the man that won in the previous in Spa. So can Charles bring it? The 34 car of Charles Bernard. I'm trying to read his surname. But anyway, he could be the track master. But who was the oval master of this classic circuit this evening?
Well, funny you should mention that. ARC, in all of the seasons that we have been here, has never had a repeat winner. Not once. Not a single time has anyone ever repeated here. In fact, we have 5 different victories on this track in the past 5 seasons. So, will someone from our current field be able to make it a 2-time champion of the Indy 250? Or are we going to see someone else come up and make it a 6th different winner? And we are actually underway with qualifying right now, folks. Something for tonight, we changed our oval qualifying format for this season. It is a 4-lap average. So you got to get out there, run 4 clean laps. Don't touch the wall once, otherwise it ruins the whole thing. Fastest average lap over the course of 4 laps sets the qualifying order for tonight. And that's a tall task. I mean, these setups are pretty good, but that's still, I mean, this is not an easy road course at all, or sorry, easy oval at all.
Absolutely not. I mean, this is a challenge. This is why everybody wants to win this race. This is the one that they all want to tick off anyway. Even in the real motor racing world, you know, there's the classics that you want to win. Indianapolis is one of them. I think Spa as well. Monaco. There's a few of the other tracks of Silverstone. But at this point in the IndyCar, this is the Brickyard, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the Triple Crown. Yeah. The Indianapolis, the Indy 500, the Monaco Grand Prix, and the 24-hour Le Mans. Being able to tick all 3 of those off puts you in motorsports legend. And there's only one who's ever actually managed to complete it. There are a couple who have 2 out of the 3, but only one who have ever managed to do all 3.
Yeah, don't tell him, mate. Maybe somebody in Twitch chat can relay that one. I know you know.
That's a good trivia question. Hey, chat, Who is the only driver to have completed the Triple Crown of Motorsports? If you know, type it in chat. That's and actually, come to think of it, there's a couple iRacing drivers who are getting close to that Triple Crown. For example, I think just completely lost it. Just completely lost my train of thought. You
need to get out of pit lane and get some fresh boots on it and maybe a splash and dash, mate. You'll be right. It's okay. You've been busy. Man, you've had a lot of work to do.
It's been a rough week.
It'll come back.
I need
Hayden at the moment has the fastest on Brooke and Charles, as you said. So it's an average of the 4 laps overall they'll have for the qualifying. Hayden looking pretty confident right now there with the provisional pole. Hayden Rubinette. Sorry, I'll probably read some first names. Robinette. I'll be reading first names and not last names. I'll remember to read the last names. My apologies.
Robinette currently with the fastest average, only 200ths ahead of Whiteman. So that's certainly looking like it's going to be close qualifying. And honestly, these front 5 are not spaced far apart at all.
It is. I was going to say, I don't see the name anywhere at all. I was looking through there going, where is this man? Because Andrew is the man leading the championship, and he's back in the 22 car at P6 currently, provisionally for the qualifying. So, got a bit of work to do, but hey, it's a long race.
This is Robinette's first race with Apollo Racing Club. So, I mean, jumping in and getting provisional pole for the Indy 250, that's a good way to start it out.
What a statement. Yep. Will Power just texted me and said, "What a lap time!" Sorry, I'll have to text him back in a second, Will, but you'll have to wait, my friend, because yeah, I think qualifying is pretty much done and dusted.
Almost. I think we have a couple drivers that weren't able to set a time. Yeah, it looks like we have a few that are. Yeah, looks like we have a couple that weren't able to set a time. Like I said, even kissing the wall completely invalidates your qualifying run here. So very stringent qualifying requirements. All right, and we actually have gridding up and ready to go. Everyone is getting ready. Looks like we have 26 cars entered into the Indy 250 for this season. That's actually our biggest Indy 250 field of all time. Not quite to a full Indy 500 field. We would need 30 for that, but you know what? 26 is fine.
26 absolutely machines, drivers behind the wheel. I'll tell you what, well, that's probably good because, you get a huge field around here. You could expect a lot of caution cars. It's still, that's 26. That's still 4 more you get in Formula One. So I'm still absolutely excited to see this one. It's the jewel of the crown, isn't it? The Brickyard, the one you want to win, the one you want to put on your resume, on your racing resume. You could do it because, as you said, well, Andrew's won twice, but not back to back. So he won in Texas and he won the Auto Club. Charles had won the previous round, and the winner, of course, was Josh DuPont. That hasn't had a very successful round after Road America. He did a fantastic job there, but has not wasn't even competing in Spa. So let's see, perhaps if Joseph can do something about that. But I didn't see Joseph in the grid this evening. Just having a look through the field there of all these drivers. No, he's not, unfortunately. So going to miss out on this one again on the previous race winners.
Yeah, and this is going to be one of those races that kind of shakes things up. I don't believe there's double points for this race, but this is one of those ones that's super unpredictable for IndyCar racing in general.
They're going to get ready for their racing at the moment, mate. So it is going to be, as you mentioned, 250 laps. So time, we had last season, it ended due to a time limit and not laps.
Yeah, last season, you weren't here for last season, Biggles, but yeah, it ended due to time instead of laps. It was a very, very caution-heavy race, just an absolute battle of attrition. So it's going to be surviving those first couple laps to get out to a green flag run that's going to be the key here. And I believe we are actually moving on to the starting grid, everybody. All right, taking first the pole for the Indy 250 in Season 6, we have Hayden Robinette in his first season with Apollo Racing Club. Then second place outside of row 1, we have Brock Whiteman. Charles Bertrand rounds out the top 3 of qualifying. David McCourt coming in P4, and Brendan Calderon is going to roll off in P5 from our qualifying.
And just to recap to everybody in the previous seasons as well, we've never had a single repeat winner here in Indianapolis. Season 2, David has won it. Season 3, Tyler Reed has won it. Season 4, Andrew has won it. And Season 5, James has. So, hey, there's some gladiators here this evening that could do that one. Wants it. Could get that first repeat win of this classic, the Jewel of the Crown track.
Indeed, indeed. We're just waiting for everyone to ready up. Let's go through the rest of our field here real quick while we are waiting for this race to get underway. Like you just said, Andrew Sarwick rolling off in P6, John Krauser P7, Austin Armstrong in P8. I didn't get to see who was in P9 and 10. There we go. P9, Liam McNeil. P10, Eric Oliva. And Eric Oliva, one of those drivers who has been consistently racing with us for a while. He'll round out the top 10.
Every driver wants to win this one. We're not quite sure about how you're going to do the splash and dash. How are you going to work on those tire situations as well? And obviously managing with your team, with your engineer, to box at the right time when this race is about to get underway, of course, because it's what it's going to be all about, isn't it? It's about timing the pace cars. You could lead a lot of the laps, but at some point you're going to wear through those tires. How long those tires last, how many pace cars we have. Well, that's what it's all about. here at Apollo Racing Club. We had a fantastic race earlier this week as well. Unfortunately, it wasn't broadcast, but it was certainly brilliant to watch. And if you guys want to be a part of it, of course, slap the button right now. Discord, the website, everything's all there.
Indeed.
And of course, our fantastic sponsors as well, too, mate. Would you like to mention them? Because they're vegan, you know.
We'll get to them over the course of this race because I'm sure we're going to have a couple cautions at least. Interesting other ones throughout the rest of the field. Tanner Long in P15. He's typically one who's fast here on these oval courses, but rolling off in P15th after a not so stellar qualifying. So we'll have to see how he is able to recover over the course of the day. We actually have 24, I believe, rounding out on the grid. So this is going to be a hectic start, to say the least, but it's going to be all about surviving it as we will be going green this time around.
Yeah, forget Netflix Drive to Survive. This is the Apollo Racing Club Drive to Survive. Drive to Survive around Indianapolis. 250 is going to be the one to do. So get ready. The pace car is going to peel into the pit lane. And we're going to get ready for some fantastic racing. And what fantastic racing you want to do on your Thursday night.
Yeah, this is the best place to be on iRacing right now, either in this lobby or watching it on Twitch or YouTube. It's twitch.tv/Apollo Racing Club. Getting ready for our 6th iteration of the Indianapolis 250 as we come out of turn number 4. The field about to be in the hands of Hayden Robinette, our newcomer, the rookie to ARC. Barry the flagman has his green flag out. The pace car peels off into the pits, and it is in the hands of Hayden now. He's going to tool him along, back up the field, stack him up, and then he'll get a good jump here. We are green here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and everybody actually staying fairly orderly behind him. A couple people jumping out of line, but nothing too major. Looks like we are so far clean into turn number 1. It's the exit of the short chute that's going to be the problem as everybody is collected at the end of turn number 1. And that's going to be our first caution of the day. We saw a couple people, Derek Stack mixed up in that one, Daniel Taskey as well. Erica Leva got mixed up in it, I believe. Yes, he did. Adam Thompson, a few of our regulars getting mixed up in that one. Mark Feeney as well.
I'm just saying Tanner and Liam and Mark might have been the original ones. You saw that there was 2 accidents at the same time. So it was a midfield and then just at the rear. But replays, of course, that's what we have. Let's find out what happened.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to pinpoint the origin of this, as I think there's going to be a lot of people who are just kind of checking up and not really knowing what they're going to do with it from there. And, yo, my goodness, Tanner Long getting some air on that one, but that's probably half the field mixed up in that single wreck.
I think it was somebody hit the wall there, the cold tires early, hit the fence, and that caused that chain reaction. Let's see if we can find out who it was. They went right up against that. There it is. That's the spinner.
Let's back this up a little bit. Yeah.
Yep. Now
spinner
that
up
that
ahead
reaction.
Already. Yeah, there was a spinner. It was whoever was in the Mercedes livery there.
I was thinking
Bertrand.
Yeah,
Charles Bertrand was the one that caused that one.
So cold tires hits the fence, I think, on the outside. Let's have a look in a slow-mo.
This is a replay of the restart here. And as we get to turn number 1, let's see. Let's back that up a little bit and watch that at normal speed. He chips down and hits the curb, I believe.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. He goes down and just chips the curb. Now, that's okay to do a couple laps into the race and beyond, but when you're on cold tires, that will take you out every single time. So there really isn't, like, if you get down there on that berm, there is nothing you can do to prevent that from happening. That is if you have cold tires. You're going to go right around.
Yeah, as a driver, of course, you were in the F4 series earlier on this week. But, we miss Will. Of course, Will, probably, as an engineer, be like sitting there going, he knows exactly what the cold tires feel like and all the revs you need to be, the temperature you need in those tires. And that's it. I was surprised that the inside line like that would cause that much of a loosey-goosey. What happens to that? Why did he lose the control of the car?
Well, what ends up happening is you don't have as much grip down on that bottom side. So what you end up doing is it ends up doing one of two things. Typically, if it's on grass, it ends up spearing the car in the opposite direction of the grass. But if you're on like a berm or something where it slows you down heavily, it's actually going to cause you to kind of want to drift further into that berm, no matter what kind of car you're using. So he felt it kind of try and drag him down further, and might have overcorrected a little bit to come back out to the right side. So yeah, that's what happens when you chip those berms a little bit on the inside, is you'll have that happen every time.
And so
that was 12th and back that was involved in that nasty wreck. So looks like a few people made it to the pits and out again without losing a lap. Charles Bertrand actually didn't end up losing a lap there. And now everyone from P17 and back is down at least one lap.
Yeah, we had about 6 or 7 drivers at the moment in the pit lane there. So just to explain to everybody, fast repairs, I don't think there is, because I'm seeing a lot of time still, as you can see them currently, as they pass pit lane, all in there getting some major repairs done to the cars. Just to elaborate with everybody out there, Keegan, what do they get? How long do the pit stops? So they get a fast repair or any of that jazz? Well, how does it work out?
Yes, they do get a fast repair in the ARC IndyCar series for ovals. They might even get 2 depending on which oval we're running, and I believe they do have 2 today. And that actually kind of brings up something interesting, is the pit stop strategy. We're getting 29 to 33 laps on fuel, and it's a 100-lap race. So if you are really careful about how much fuel you're saving, you can do this on a 2-stopper. If you're really pushing the whole time, it's gonna be a 3-stopper. But I get the feeling we're gonna be running enough caution laps that it's just gonna end up being a 2-stopper for everybody.
I would feel as well too. Safety cars breed safety cars. We should go green in a minute. The pace car's going to turn those lights off, and they're all bunched up. Let's see how they can handle another couple of laps around Indianapolis, because we've only had just a couple of laps under green. And those tires are cold, and they're still cold, of course, because they haven't had a good, a solid couple of laps of green flag racing, but they will in a minute. Keegan, you know how it feels. How do you prepare this car? How do you get ready? Do you hit the gas pedal? How lightly do you hit the gas pedal?
Honestly, it just comes down to not doing anything crazy for the first lap or 2 until those tires heat up. There's certain stuff you can do on the pace lap, like dragging the brake, not in the exploit terms, but in the actual dragging brake terms. But you know what? It's time to stop talking about the cautions and get talking about the green flag. Hayden Robinette bringing them back to green flag again. He's going to get a big jump on green, and we are back racing here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Everybody staying in line on that front straight. No one checking up massively yet, but we are still on cold tires. Looking out through turn 1, it looks like we don't have any takers on the spinner yet. And it looks like we're going to be good through turn 2, I hope.
Yeah, obviously hope, of course, because you want to go through at the moment. Get the tires temperature up there and start analyzing it as you get the slipstream. Of course, get the bump drafting and all that jazz. A little bit of a battle at the moment. I think that might be Adam there back there trying to catch. That's the 41 car. Just trying to cruise his way up into just getting the slipstream that you need to be. There's also a bit of a battle forming, I think, at the moment there. Maybe.
Yeah, it's actually a battle for first. Brock Whiteman and Hayden Robinette. Actually, Brock Whiteman just turned the fastest lap of the race with a 42.3. And he is really booking it in that slipstream. Now, that slipstream gets you a lot of aero wash through these corners. So it's something that you've got to be careful of. And here at Indianapolis, you've really got to build up passing moves for at least a lap, sometimes even 2 laps if you want to try and make a good move.
You need to move. That's 41 car. There we go, another caution. And that might have been Eric. Did Eric crash out there? What was Eric running just before this incident?
Jake Jackson, actually. Looks like, given how that front tire is positioned, it looks like he might have just slammed into the wall.
No, my friend.
Those short shoots are deadly.
Let's have a look at that replay again. Is that just too wide? And that sucks you in, isn't it, if you go too close to the fence? What happened here? It was just a self-driver.
Oh.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
yep,
he really lost it before there. He must have tapped the wall earlier, I'd have to say.
Yeah, he ran real tight out of 1 and just ended up right into the wall. Now, that might be something that they have to deal with as well over the course of the day, is running a little bit tight on these cars. most teams prefer to run Indy cars tighter at Indianapolis Motor Speedway because it prevents getting, letting the tail get out too far when you're running in traffic. But that exact thing can happen to you too. It makes you slower in the corners if you are not running behind somebody. But it looks like this setup is primarily for running in traffic.
So another caution means that you get to, just ease out on the gas a little bit there on the fuel. And we all know that you can't go to the end of this race at the moment on the same fuel all the tires. If you do, you're in big trouble. Jake Jackson will go into pits and fix that in pit lane. That's the 15 car at the moment. Sorry, it's 15 position, the 99 car. See, they're doing pit lane repairs. A lot of those gladiators, obviously those drivers at the moment, we've had actually a lot of them from P11 all the way down, I believe, almost to P26 have all been pit lane doing some repairs, and only the top 10 at the moment are yet to be in the pit lane yet.
Yeah, and you just said it, P11 down, they've all been involved in a wreck already, so they've all used their fast repair and gone away. Jake Jackson actually was able to get his fast repair and keep his lap, so he's catching the back of the field right now. We're not going green this time around, so we'll be under caution for another lap here, or potentially two. But folks, just real quick, we'd like to tell you about one of our sponsors tonight, and that is Driver 61, the most prolific, best, most popular racing school in Europe, has entered the sim racing market. Their professional tutors will help you learn everything that they can teach you about driving in a sim. They'll help you find that limit quickly and help you ride on it the entire race. So if you want to go check them out, that's driver61.com, and we have a promo code for you. That is ARC Driver61. That gives you 25% off all of their services, and they really have some great tutors over there. So if you're in the market for some iRacing tutoring, go over to driver61.com and use the code ARC Driver61.
Did you use that kick the other day? You've been driving pretty solid in the F4 series. How was that panning out? I mean, that obviously the driver, they give you a little bit more. I mean, you were kind of a lonely race the other day, but
lonely as long as I wasn't being run into by Will. Unfortunately, that's just how the F4 races end up working out, and that's just really how it is with any open wheel road series. It's going to be a fairly lonely race as long as you don't have any full course cautions, which in that series, we've set it up so that it's very rare to have a full course caution. They are not on automatically, and the only way they can happen is if there's like a complete track blockage. So for example, we're going to Long Beach later on this season, and that's one of those times that we'll probably see a full course caution, because if the whole track is blocked, I mean, what are you going to do?
You just injection, get the blood, Rocket League it, mate. Just collect the boost and jump over everybody.
Yeah, obviously.
Oh wait, wrong league. Yeah, exactly. I know what you mean. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, I tell you what,
use one of the flipping cars to get a flip reset off of it.
Flip reset, yeah. But the driver, that is a great thing. If you guys want to be serious about it, of course, they are out there. There's experts. They will help you. They will match your category, what you want to do, what car. Right, Driver 61's there. What do you want to race in? You want to race in ARCA? Do you want to race in, IndyCar?
Formula
Renaults, anything.
They have everything. And quite frankly, as well, if you aren't racing in one of these leagues, folks, here at ARC, you are not in the right place. Because we are running both of the most fun cars on iRacing at the moment, which is the IndyCar, the Dallara IR18, and the iRacing Formula IR04. Those are truly the most fun cars on the service at the moment. So if you're not racing them, what are you doing in your life?
That's why I'm here, mate, because I'm having a ton of fun. And I don't know too much about IndyCar, but I thank you very much for allowing me to be in here, because we have experts in here, of course. We have, Will actually is an engineer from a team, and there's drivers here that are involved in that. This is sim racing. It's also real. You could jump into these cars right now and probably drive them around a track. Now it's quick. Pace cars in. Let's go green flag racing.
And we have Hayden Robinette, who's going to lead him off to the green flag again. He's going to get a big jump before he gets to that green flag. And we are green here at Indianapolis once again. Everybody is going to stay single file for the moment. Let's see if we're going to end up with another caution in the early going here. But 10 laps in, we've already had 2 cautions. I think everyone is just going to want to hold pretty steady for now. And actually going for
not really.
a move for the lead, Brock Whiteman, he's going to make it stick going into 3, but that short shoot might be a bit of a problem, and he's actually going to make it hold the rest of the way. So Brock Whiteman will come around probably to lead this lap unless Hayden Robinette gets an incredible slipstream, which he won't get enough. Brock Whiteman, new leader.
Yeah, also in the background as well, just behind them, Andrew and David kerfuffling telephone numbers. It looks like a little bit of an error coming out of the corner. Here's the battle at the P4 and P5. Side by side, I was going to say it's a Ferrari, but it's a red car versus a blue car. But at the moment, still keep an eye on the battle that's occurring at the front, because anything can happen. Anything will happen in Indianapolis. And there's going to be an opportunity right now. Cold tires and trying to get them up at the temperature. Trying to get there's a little bit of movement occurring once again there in the background. But at the moment,
does David have damage, or am I seeing things? Oh no, he doesn't have damage. Okay, but David McCourt, he needs a good race here. He is currently in 2nd in the standings, and he is, I think, 39 off of Andrew Serwick, who is our points leader, and he's actually up in 3rd right now. So David McCourt really gonna need to kind of he's gonna need to push
slow
it like
car
crazy.
on the fence
We have
somewhere.
another
Is that a
caution
caution? Yeah,
out.
there's a slow car on the fence. I saw that one, and I'm not quite sure what that was exactly, but that's going to bring him back down. From our race director, we'll check a replay, of course, out there. We don't miss any of the action here at Apollo Racing.
I think it was Mark Feeney who ended up in the wall.
Yeah, it's got to be Mark. He's in pit lane right now, too.
Feeney. Yep. Mark Feeney ended up in the wall. We'll have to go back and find a replay of that. But yeah, he brings out our 3rd caution of the day on lap number, I believe we're on 15.
I can't tell you the lap number, my friend. I can tell you the time, but yeah, 12. We're on 12.
Oh, sorry, lap 12.
Yep. It all gets a little confusing, of course, when you're racing so quickly with a couple of cautions. That'll give Brock a little bit of a breathing space at the moment, leading the race there from Hayden and Andrew, all the big gladiators here in the league with all the big points in the championship. Where's our newcomer, the man that qualified on pole? I'm just going to double check that one for a second.
That's Hayden Robinette, currently running P2 right now. Brock Whiteman leading everybody, but Brock Whiteman is one of those guys who doesn't get in here and race often, but when he does, he is typically competitive. He's actually running a full-time schedule this season, though, and he hasn't had a couple great races. 22nd at Texas, which was an absolute slugfest of a race. 7th at Road America, 8th at Auto Club, 13th at Spa. So it's seeming like ovals are kind of potentially going to be his saving grace for the season if he can manage to really wheel it around these places. But to see him up front, good signs. They're going to bring the points even closer together than they already are.
That's what I love about the series too, Keegan, is that you're throwing a spanner in the mix there. It's not just ovals, right? You've got road courses and ovals. So it's not just lefts, or rights. It's got left and right when you throw the spanner in the mix, like with Spa and stuff, which is great because also, as you've seen the results, shows that the oval masters don't necessarily perform so well with the classic, circuits, motor racing open wheel circuits. So they've got to you got to be. It's got to be the law of averages, isn't it? How will you do over the season during all the different tracks?
Well, that's one of the great things about IndyCar is that they're designed to be able to run on both. And you have to be talented at both, especially in leagues on iRacing that are, more 50-50. Like this league is 50% ovals, 50% road courses. Real life is 75-25 road to oval, but here it really makes you be competent in both disciplines. And I'd say there are a lot of drivers in this league who kind of fill that in. However, we've seen, look at last season, David McCourt taking every single road course win except for one. He's really kind of the road alien here. In fact,
yeah.
He actually hasn't won a
No,
single race this season.
David has not
And
won a
last
race.
week, yeah, and last week at Spa, he placed second behind
Yep.
Charles Bertrand, who
But I'll
actually
tell you what,
missed Road America and Auto Club. So,
but consistency is key to win a championship at the moment. So you don't have to necessarily win. Now we know Andrew has won. I mean, leading the championship, 157 points. You know, he's won Auto Club. He's won Texas. He finished on the podium in Spa. But David has got a second place, a third place, and a fourth place. He just had the unlucky adventure in Road America. So if he can just keep that consistency, constantly score podiums, it doesn't matter if you get a win or not. I'm sure he would love to have a win. But hey, you can win a championship without a win. And that's what it's all about. He's on 118 points, so he got to maximize getting a few more points here on Andrew. We're spicing it up anyway. We still have, what, we're only about our third through the season, so plenty of time. Obviously, this is it, isn't it? Indianapolis. This is the one you want in your trophy cabinet.
yeah, this is really the crown jewel. Well, so there's also the fact that we get 2 drop weeks. So if you have a couple bad weeks here and there, it gets written off. So your best 10 results over the course of the 12-week season will be where things end up.
Just reading the chat out there. G'day. Spa in the IR18 is great. There you go. It was. That was
we watched that
fantastic.
last week. It was
Yep.
freaking
That
amazing.
was my first time, and I've been telling people as I've casted a few races in Spa and F1 for the previous week, I'm like, guys, you don't realize how fantastic it was to see an Indy car fly around Spa. You won't see it in the real world, but I tell you what, in the virtual world, it was absolutely brilliant. If you didn't tune into that race, click down below and watch it because it was amazing.
And we were discussing before the broadcast about how much different it is when you don't have DRS around there and you have push to pass instead, and about how much more competitive that makes the races. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit whenever we get our next caution. Hopefully we don't get another caution, but if we get another caution, we'll talk about that then. In the meantime, field in the hands of our current leader, Brock Whiteman, and he's going to back them all up, whoa them up, and then he'll get a big jump off the beginning. There's a bit of a cluster further back in the field as some guys have to kind of swerve around and prevent themselves from running into the dudes in front of them. But we are back green at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
It's Powerhouse. Let's listen to the cars. Maybe go on board with one and find out at the moment, as you can see right now on there. Great battling. I want to hear this powerhouses. I want to hear the overtakes. Let's hit the revs. It looks like he's going for a goal automatically here at the moment. Let's listen to Let's listen to these engines.
Side by side racing. Oh my.
So there you go, Drew. That's how you get an overtake done. Would you like one of those cars in your garage? Organize it for you if you like.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And this is just a trading back and forth for the lead, which happens so much here at IMS. Brock Whiteman still in second, but Hayden Robinette kind of taking his position back. He's like, oh, no, thank you. I will go ahead and lead from here. But I bet you Brock Whiteman is perfectly willing to let him lead for a little bit. Or not. No, he's just going to come and take it right back. The slipstream, so powerful.
Yeah, to explain out there, anybody who does not drive, including myself, but sitting up in the grandstand, oh, it does it obviously in the slipstream. You're braking, a car ahead is braking all the air. You're the one behind, and as soon as you go out there, you're braking the air. Now all of a sudden you lose that down speed.
Caution, caution, caution. It is out. Brendan Calderon. I believe that was a solo incident. We'll have to wait for the replay to see exactly what happened. I believe we have it queued up. Here it is. What happened here? This is on the exit of 2, I believe.
It looks pretty far from the wall.
Oh, no, sorry. Exit of 1.
Gone down too close when we saw the incident before. No. That's the old classic elf livery as well. Where's he lost it here?
What happened here with Brendan Calderon?
He must have gone. Have you got?
Okay,
to
so
the
we're
inside?
into
Here
one.
it is. Well, no, it's
We're
not
into
the
one.
inside. Yeah, there it is.
Oh no, yep, he was
Yeah.
just super tight. Gunned it a little bit too hard and entered that corner a little bit too early. And when that happens, your car tries to go real wide on the exit. Same principle as on a road course, you know?
So you explain that to everybody else. Yeah, sorry to cut you off there real quick there, Keegan. If you can go back on, can you mind the replay there, fantastic director, of course, of Alex. Go back on board that incident and Keegan can explain what happens with the car as to cause that.
Yeah, let's go check that out actually, please, if you wouldn't mind, production. Let's take a slow-mo and we can really kind of analyze what happens here when you get a little bit too feisty going into one of these corners. Because one of the great things about IMS is that it's kind of like a road course on an oval. I know it sounds completely contradictory in that notion, but it genuinely is kind of like a road course on an oval. And we'll
So
have
what
to wait
happens here,
until
Keegan? Yeah.
So I don't believe this is where the incident is. I believe the incident's going into turn 1.
So what are you doing? You're in 6th gear. You're on almost maximum revs.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
explain
get...
what happens here.
All right, so he's coming down the front stretch. He has a little bit of a slipstream here, but it's not really enough to get any sort of speed off of it. Instead, it just makes him loose. So he comes down a little bit too hard. And now he actually turned in super early here. We can rewind it just a little bit. But that's one of the things about IMS is that it's kind of like a road course on an oval. All of these corners are corners that you might see on a road course somewhere. So pause right here. He is turning down into that corner pretty early as far as IMS corners go. Coming down into that corner a little bit later is typically how people go because of the short shoot. Here at IMS, you have a little bit of a straight in between turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you don't have nearly as much run out room if you end up turning into the corner early. He keeps into the gas. He lets off a little bit once.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep.
He's lifted a little bit, but at this point, you've got to lift a lot harder. You practically have to brake in order to avoid the wall. But that's the same principle as you see on road courses. The earlier you turn into a corner, the earlier you apex that corner, the more run out room you're going to need on the other side. So that's kind of what happens there. He turns in super early, keeps it completely flat, and then just has nowhere to go on the exit of turn 1.
Obviously, I feel for the driver, but I do feel for the great insight into that because once again, I'm new, and if you guys are new out there, of course, that's what happens, and that's very good, elaborate detail. No, I mean, I wouldn't even have picked that one up. It was only minor, just adjustments, isn't it? But you said really at the end of the day, once he went out deep into the low, he should have lifted just a little bit, and it would have avoided him.
Yeah, he entered too early and lifted too late to compensate for going in too early, and honestly, that going in too early, that's probably a 1/10 of a second difference as to when you're going in too early versus going in on time, and it's so hard to kind of feel out, you know, when you need to turn in there, and whether you need to wait a little bit longer and then add traffic to it if you're in it. But it takes a lot of experience in this IndyCar to know when is the optimal time to turn into these corners, especially at IMS, for the aforementioned reason that it's not one contiguous turn. It is a turn, short stretch, turn.
And just for those noobs out there, because you keep saying IMS, I'm like, what are you referring to? Of course, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, there it is. Just remind everybody, I'm a noob here, okay, to oval tracks in the United States and stuff like that. But yeah, and also I noob to watching that. So I know that there's a lot of people out there, a lot of drivers that I know that, you know, they're not used to ovals, but they're excited to get involved with. So this is crucial. And if you guys are watching, please do. You know, I know a lot of you guys want to be a part of this, and you're just so used to road tracks. This is a whole different ball game when it comes to racing, and little things like you said, Keegan, make all the difference.
Yeah, oval racing is a lot harder than people give it credit for. It's not hard to tool a car around Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but it is hard to do it quick, and that's what these guys are trying to do, especially these guys up front. There's so much finesse involved in that.
I'm just trying to explain to all the Europeans that like think that, you know, driving an oval is not difficult, but it is absolutely difficult when you're on the absolute button because everything makes a difference. I remember these drivers are separated by milliseconds. So the pace car should be in right now, and we go green flag racing again here in Indianapolis.
Brock Whiteman back out in front of the field. He's going to lead everyone to green. Hayden Robinette out behind him. Brock Whiteman is going to get a big jump here. Hayden Robinette actually delayed a little bit. Andrew Serwick right up his tail, and we are back green here at Indianapolis.
Gonna file through one by one. That's all you need to do at the moment. Hopefully, continue this one. And then obviously the cold tires as well too. You're gonna get them up to temperature. You've been on the pace car. A lot less speed that you'll be right now as you'll be making your way around one of the famous tracks there. And there's also a golf course in there. We'll be playing golf a little bit later on there, Keegan, but right now, let's let these drivers battle it out.
Battle for fourth here as David McCourt being challenged by Austin Armstrong, who's actually going to take that spot away with a rather aggressive move into the short chute as we come out of 4 back onto the main straight. That was actually a really nice move by Austin Armstrong. That was an example of when you go in early and use it to cut off the guy in front of you. He made it work.
And I'll talk to you about this it's come back at the moment. Who's come back there? I think it was Craig and Cody were battling it out there. Well, Tanner. Sorry, I apologize. I'm still getting used to all these names and what you see all these cars, liveries and everything. But the battles are right there. As you capture
there
the
it
action.
is. This is between, I believe, Cody Barrett and Craig Bray, who are battling back there. This is for 10th place. Being forced high is Cody Barrett. He's going to retain the lead retain that position for now.
And just to clarify with everybody, Keegan, when you say force somebody high, you got the inside line there, so they have to go around you, right? So that means they get potentially sucked into that wall, dangerous territory. What happens there when you get forced high?
Well, so it depends on the track. If you're forced high at somewhere like Auto Club Speedway, that's almost a preferred line. But somewhere like Indianapolis, where the banking is not that high, it's a lot more of a detriment. You really want to be on that inside line here, because when you get higher up on the banking, it's not only just not high banking originally, but it's also it flattens out as you go further up in the turn. So you really don't want to be forced onto that high side. You're going to lose a lot of time that way.
Is that something you would like to do all the time as a driver? You would always try to stick to the inside line, but if you stick to the inside line, you got to compromise your exit speed. So how do you balance it?
Well, you see, you don't really have to balance. You don't really have to compromise your exit speed all that much. And for most tracks, at least most ovals, the inside line is optimal. You save a lot more time taking the inside line than you would gaining in a run off the corner. The only time that's really preferable is if it's like the last lap and you're making a run for the win down the front straight, especially here at Indianapolis, which has a crazy long front straight. I believe half a mile.
It's a 41 car making a run. That's Hayden and Brock, mate. Sorry to cut you off.
No, all good. Hayden and Brock, they've been battling for P1 for basically the entire race.
So now you're going to remember, if it's going to be the entire race under a pace car, I'd like to be in that P1, but also P1 gives you that opportunity of who's going to box first if you have to go down the pit lane. So that's going to be the one. Obviously, the car behind tends to follow you in, and that's usually engineers. If he goes in, you go in. At the moment, who knows? But it's Hayden leading from Brock and Andrew and Austin. There's your top 4 Top Guns. David McCourt there, down 1 position, but 3 positions gained from Andrew. And we have another caution. Somewhere I saw the car going a little slow. Here's another battle car occurring at the moment. Plenty of battles occurring here in Indianapolis.
There's the caution. Who was out front? Whiteman was out front. Erica Lee is spinning back further in the field, but Whiteman actually is going to get the lead off of that caution. And there it is, the broken down car of Erica Leva. Looks like, given the impact on the left side, it looks like he might have gotten loose in the short chute. We'll have to wait for the replay here to see exactly what happened.
He's got so much overspeed, doesn't he? He's going to have to go to the left. He's gone down into the inside shoulder. And what is...
It's Tyler Reed on the outside of him. He tries to come up to get a good entry, and then what happens here? Did he just get side drafted off of?
Oh, he's gone deep and banged him.
Oh, he actually hit Tyler Reed. And Tyler Reed went into the outside wall. He went into the inside, and unfortunately,
Tyler Reed was not a happy camper, will he? Yeah. About that one, but it is what it is. Motor racing at maximum speed. Look at this again. It goes for the. You got to go for the move. If gap car, of course. You are motor racers.
The issue wasn't this part. It was the exit where, there it is. Erica Leva just comes up into Tyler Reed. And if you're Tyler Reed, there's nowhere you can go at that point. You are already as far out as you can.
You couldn't lift or anything, could you? Could you lift maybe?
I mean, you could lift, but you're going to lose so much time. You're basically probably going to lose the slipstream if you lift there. And it's going to throw off your entry into 4 as well. So,
but you might not lose a tire into the wall as well too, which was what did occur. So it's very difficult to judge, isn't it? At milliseconds with these guys trying that. I mean, I don't know if we can go back on that one and go on board and see that. I'd be interested to see the reaction time of what he could have done if he could go. He's got nowhere to go, of course. You could jump the fence into the grandstand, but that's not going to give you any brownie points. Or any points at all.
Yeah, no. And is everybody making their way into pits? There's some people who are thinking about it.
Go replay.
Another view of this crash here on board with Eric Oliva.
Yeah. So here he is. What is he going to do here? So we've gone.
Yeah. By the time you get to that point, if you are Tyler Reed, you are a passenger. Like, you might potentially see him shuffling up, but he kind of shuffles up, makes a pause as though he's going to hold his place going into turn 4, and then shuffles up again. And at that point, there is literally nothing you can do to predict that he's going to do that.
Isn't Alex a fantastic producer out there doing all that hard work behind the scenes? Good on you, Alex. You're catching all the action. Lane is absolutely busy. We don't have a pit lane reporter down there trying to cover all the kerfuffling as they're getting in there, get a splash and dash tires. What's going to happen? What would be your pit lane right now? What would you do?
So
in this part of the race? These
guys are trying to go basically from here to the end, or from here to the end on one more stop. And actually, the furthest driver up there is Andrew Surowick, who brought the rest of the field in behind him. So they're going to have fresh tires, and that's going to be a big advantage over the top 5 who did not pit. Actually, our entire top 6 did not pit. Excuse me. And Andrew Surowick basically is leading the charge for the off-pit strategy. So they are short pitting ahead of the top 6 to try and anticipate that this is going to go caution for a little bit, and they're going to be able to save a little bit of fuel to make it on one more stop from here. So if they choose to do that, expect them to come in probably on lap 65 next.
You got to call it, I have to say RJ as well, too. He's running a P7. He's made his pit number 5 car, the white car. So, yeah, he's got that pit lane done and dusted, as everybody else has, as you mentioned. Top 6 have not. Also, Daniel running in P8. It's in right now for Craig. So that's the 709 car going in, electing to use this opportunity to change the boots and get some splash and dash gas. It's quite expensive right now, Craig, so I hope you got your credit card charged up.
Yeah, Craig Bray and Daniel Taskey both opting to come into the pit there. They're going to lose some spots, but you know what? They're going to be right up there with everybody anyway because they're going to have all those fresh tires. And they saved an extra 2 laps by coming in later on. So now they are definitely trying for the 1 stop on the way out. They have actually 2 more laps of gas. Under caution, mind you, but 2 more laps of gas than the next few people ahead of them.
And if you get some gas freaking flyer miles, I mean gas miles actually, not freaking flyer miles, but anyway. You can get that as well too as you fly all over the tracks throughout the United States this season. Actually all over around the world, of course, because we were in Spa last week.
Okay, where are you from, Dean, again?
Australia, my friend.
Australia.
All the way down the bottom end, yeah.
See, here's the thing, all right? Americans are like the least mobile people on the face of the earth. Like, we won't go more than 50 miles to go watch a race or something. We'll just like sit at home and watch it on TV. And it's like, it's a weird quirk about the United States that we just are very sedentary people. Like, our country's huge. Our country's huge, and we have pretty much every environment you could possibly want and everything you could want to see, and yet we choose to see the same 16 square feet of our house every day.
Well, I understand, mate. I've lived in multiple parts of the United States. So say pace cars, and we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see when that launch is going to be as that tuck up there. It's all going to be up to Brock to hit the gas pedal. He's hit the gas pedal as loud as possibly can, so he's going to now go into the next part of this race. Green flag again.
Oh, shuffling out behind him. That's sketchy. Back there in around P20, but they managed to keep it straight for now as we are back under green. Meanwhile, back up the front, going right back at it, are Whiteman and Robinette. Robinette trying to really get up on that gearbox before he chooses to make a move, and he's going to get it done and make it stick into 3. Is behind them. David McCourt starting to breathe down their necks a little bit. As this battle goes on, David McCourt will get closer and closer and closer as these two jockey for position.
Yeah, Dave McCourt wants this one too, my friend. He has not won an Indianapolis race since season 2. And I tell you what, is looking like a man on charge. Green equals go, does it? We'll find out, of course, because we're getting some good green flag racing. How's he going to space each other out at the moment?
It's only been a lap. Don't curse it yet.
We commentate his blessing as well too, so let's go. Lots of action occurring in midfield as well too, between Charles, I think, Cody, Matthew. There's action everywhere. Our fantastic producer out here for Apollo Racing is doing all he could do. Play up all the replays. But we want green flag racing, and we're getting it right now.
For the moment, let's hope it stays that way. For a little bit, at least. Looks like everybody is starting to settle in as these tires are not really blown out yet. They're a little bit cold at the moment, but they are definitely not worn down. They're probably the prime of their life, I guess you would say, here at IMS. So far, we're keeping it steady, but before we went back green, before that restart, we were talking about how Americans are one of the most sedentary people. It's like we have this huge country to look at, and yet we all just sit in the same like square mile for our entire lives. It's completely baffling, in my opinion.
No, it's not, Keegan, because I mean, I've lived around the world in Europe, and I've lived in Australia, I've lived in Asia, I've lived in the Central Americas. South and Central America. I'll tell you what, because you guys get everything you want right there, so why would you need to leave? It's cool. It's always fun to visit on a holiday, but yeah, you have it. So why? Hey, if you have it, well, you got nothing to lose.
That's another startling statistic, though. Part of the reason why the U.S. is so polarized is because we don't get other views, and I believe there is someone wrecking in the apron. We might stay green, though. That was Eric Oliva who actually hit the outside wall.
Almost.
And he managed to get the toe. Yeah, he managed to get the toe to the pits, so we stay green here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
I'll tell you what, if you're going to get damaged, do it right between entering the pit lane. That's the best place to do it. And occurring, I think, was
well, he had
Austin
the toe,
and Andrew. And that's a battle at the moment for P7 and P8. So these are the fresh boots battle occurring right now. RJ, Andrew, and Austin.
Speaking of fresh boots, Andrew Serwick just put up a blistering lap, 40.48, our fastest lap of the race so far. And he is marching on that top 5, trying to get back up there. And as long as he keeps it straight, he'll get up there pretty quickly. The only person he has to pass yet that has already pitted is RJ Conley, who he's about half a second behind and gaining on. So he's going to be looking to probably pass RJ in the next 2 to 3 laps.
I think is it Austin going the pit lane at the moment? Is maybe the driver in P8, but here's an overtake opportunity further back, and these are the opportunity for these guys that are on those fresh boots, the fresh tire. A bit more rubber, a little bit more grip, and can give you an opportunity, a bold and brave opportunity in places you wouldn't do, obviously, on worn rubber. I think that Hayden, Brock, and David in the lead would probably risk right now. And I think Hayden, something's happened at the moment.
Adam Thompson actually going into the pits. He's actually going to lose a lap as a result of that. I don't know if he had issues or if he's just choosing to take his pit stop now, but Adam Thompson will come into the pits a little bit early.
Good racing, getting to know the car a little bit. I'm loving to watch it. Going to be exciting to watch it side. And here is a run. I'm thinking at the moment maybe in Charles and Cody. That's a battle for P10 and P11. The inside and outside line. There's action at the moment.
Oh, they're about a second back though. That the battle remains at the front here as Hayden Robinette and Brock Whiteman are still duking it out. I believe Hayden has maybe gotten a little bit of an advantage here as he is starting to pull away ever so slightly from Brock, about a 1/10 of a second over the last 2 laps. But every time he gets on that long straight, Brock Whiteman just gets up in that slipstream and follows him. We're getting to the point of the race now. You're fairly new to this, Dean, where the tires are not really going to allow you to follow close behind somebody through the corners. So at this point, you just kind of chill. If you can get a move done on the straight, you do it, like we see Brock Whiteman going for here. But if you can't, you just stick behind him and wait till you can make a move stick. And Brock Whiteman will retake the lead. Hayden Robinette will probably look for it on the next strip. RJ Conley actually on pit road again for his second pit stop of the day.
One of his damage or fuel, but once again, Hayden and Brock going for it tooth and nail. So you get a slipstream, you get a slipstream, and you get a slipstream. It's not an Oprah Winfrey show at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. It's an Oprah. It's a Apollo Racing Club, and that's the thing, isn't it? That draft that you get, like, oh, are they going to pit lane? They are going to pit lane. Both of them following each other. Race leaders.
2 leaders up front. Hayden Robinette and Brock Whiteman both duck into the pits. That's going to give David McCourt the lead. He's probably going to be out to lead this lap. But now, only 3 people have yet to make a pit stop. That's David McCourt, John Krauser, and Adam Martin, our top 3 running as they stand. Expect them to probably come in here in the next lap. Maybe 2, but we are currently on lap 40, so I don't expect them to take a long time before they come into the pits here. In fact, look for David McCourt to probably duck in as he comes out of 4 here.
Yeah, but you could be playing on the caution cars, of course, because now you're getting through your mandatory pit stops, get that in there, get enough fuel to perhaps go to the end. Prey on a couple of safety cars, so a few more people in. Yeah, John Krauser's in at the moment. DeAndre Young is leading the pit lane, leaving the pit lane.
Adam Martin and David McCourt currently the only ones who have yet to pit. David McCourt coming out of 4 now. Will he take the duck in? No, he won't. He still is going for another lap.
It's difficult right now. You'd probably be praying for a caution or something because, yeah, there's a lot of people who have boxed. Andrew's Andrew currently running P3 is the first one that's made. Here it is.
There it is, David McCourt coming into the pits now. Adam Martin is going to stay out on track for the moment, who has not come in yet. So Adam Martin is probably going to lead a lap here.
David went in as well. So I'm sure Will is busy down there right now, isn't he, in pit lane trying to sort out all his engineering. We miss you, Will.
Oh, yeah. He's a fuel strategist, so he's the one making the call for Adam to stay out right now.
He's got to earn his paycheck, mate. That's what he does.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So we are on lap 42 of 100, almost at the halfway point. What about everybody's taken a pit, visited pit lane down there, visited Will, apart from Adam, the only driver yet.
There it is, Adam coming into pit lane now. That's going to cycle that's going to cycle Andrew Surowick around into the race lead. And he is actually on tires that are about 15 laps old at this point. So he is about halfway through his fuel stint, maybe a little bit less, given the fact that we have about 33 under green flag running, potentially 35 to 37 under yellow flag running. But he's going to sit comfortably in that first place position with a nice comfy lead over Austin Armstrong, who is the second place driver and about 6 seconds back behind Andrew Surowick.
I like Keegan I say comfy. I'm sure it's not comfy when you're pulling G-forces going into this corner. Those seats are tucked up. Your seatbelts are strapped, of course. But yeah, it's comfy, but it's sweaty and it's hot. And now, just to ask you a question right now, if you went in the pit lane and you gassed it up, you put some fresh boots on, did you gas it up for the end of the race? And are you expecting how many cautions? And could you underfuel the car expecting that? Or what happens there?
Well, no matter what, you're gonna need another. You're gonna need another pit stop from here. It's completely unavoidable. Even if we were to run under caution from here to the end of the race, you can't make it 56 laps on this tank of fuel. It's just simply not going to happen. You can't double the tank basically. But what you can do is you can save to try and come in at the optimal time. So expect when we get to probably around lap 65 in about 20 laps, we're going to start seeing guys come in for their final pit stop of the day, because they will be good to go from there out. Maybe lap 67, 68 if they want to be safe about it, but there's some wiggle room in the fuel strategy to play with here.
Yeah, this to me, from a Formula 1 background, is a nightmare to try to engineer to get your car in and out in time and allow yourself enough time to get some overtakes done. If you have, the right tires, the right amount of fuel in there, try to predict your opponents when they get a box. Try to get the slipstream as well, too, as you need. Gives you that extra horsepower performance down the main streets, perhaps, and corners, all that jazz. Yeah,
this is one of those places where it really pays off to have a crew chief.
Yeah, I kind of think you need to. I mean, I've been engineering races before in Formula 1, and I'm confused watching this right now, but this is great, of course.
Well, that's why IndyCar is so much. That's why IndyCar is so much better than Formula 1. It's because you have more strategy to think of.
Wait.
I mean, hey, listen. All right. Formula 1 is a manufacturer's series. IndyCar is a driver's series.
Keegan, you can't say that, mate. I'm trying to get people into this IndyCar series right now. You can't be calling those shots like that.
No. That is exactly true. IndyCar is a much more fun series for drivers. In IndyCar, a driver's pure talent can shine. It's not nearly as expensive, so you don't have to come in with gobs and gobs and gobs of sponsorship money. In fact, some guys don't come in with any sponsorship money. Frequently that happens. And all the cars are identical. So how good you are as a driver really shows when you don't have to worry too much about engineering. You don't have to worry about, every little aero component of your car being 0.2 nanograms lighter than the Mercedes. Like, it doesn't particularly matter in that, because all the cars are identical except for some very, very minor components. So it really shows drivers.
How's Will going to earn these big bucks there, out skilling his other engineers?
Well, so there are a couple places where there are some differences. In the engines, number one, you have two different engine manufacturers, Chevy and Honda. So, and there's this big debate primarily about reliability between the two, and occasionally on some tracks, there's also some difference in fuel mileage. And there's also one component on the car that can be engineered by the teams, and that's the dampers. And that's one of those places where Will focuses on the most, is engineering those dampers to be the most aerodynamic possible.
Oh, that's nice to know. I didn't know that. That's awesome. I agree with the equal
cars.
There's you and me.
There's a little bit of wiggle room for engineering, but it's not over engineered like you'd see in Formula 1.
So can we do a live Apollo Racing Club stream there when yourself, me, and Alex can get down in a all equal kart racing go-karts, unequal karts, and we'll see who's the quickest. It's pretty much the same, right? I guess. I mean, I'll beat you guys, but I mean, yeah.
Like real life?
Yeah, real life karts, of course. We'll stream it live in the Apollo Racing Club.
I haven't raced go-karts in a while, and I think
I don't want to hear your excuses. Let's do it.
I think my extra 40 pounds might give you a bit of an advantage.
Don't worry about that, mate. If you're still quick, you're quick. It doesn't matter. But yeah, anyway, I'm trying to get people into this from the Europeans that don't like it.
So all right. Let me help you plead your case on this one, and you can quote me. If you are a European looking at IndyCar, not just in real life, but in sim and both, it's one of the most exciting series to watch. Not just because of the fact that it's a driver's championship, but because there's so much variety in the tracks that these cars run at. In Formula 1, you have a bunch of tracks that are basically tailor designed for those cars and those cars alone, unless it's Monaco, which sucks anyway. The track sucks, not the event.
That's not a track. That's not a track. Exactly. Don't even talk about Monaco.
It's a walking path that people have managed to drive cars on.
I'm you on Monaco, but continue. Sorry.
I'm not a fan of the Monaco track. I like the event surrounding it, but I'm not a fan of the Monaco track. That's when we get in the go-karts and go around it. That's what they should do. But yeah, you're right. They did that one year. They should do it all the time. It was like in mini open wheel go-karts that were like really high powered, and they went around Monaco. it actually produced amazing racing. Not to mention Formula E as well. I don't know if you watched the E
Formula E.
Prix
No, I agree.
That was absurd racing.
We're getting good green flag racing right now.
Yeah,
and
we
I wonder
are.
for a second, and I'll tell you what, King, because you're going to explain this because I'm not a driver. So, Alex, if you go on board with the driver right now, and we're going to get a bird's eye view from a cockpit.
Yeah.
in
Let's
this
take
machine.
a let's take
And
a lap
can
around.
give us let's do it, Keegan.
Let's take a lap around Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So this is on board with our leader, Andrew Serwick, and you can see how difficult this would be for an oval racer, someone who's used to it, is running through those little short chutes between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, where you're used to having one contiguous corner that you can really keep the same steering ratio through the entire time. And it really kind of throws a wrench in things, especially if you get into 1 or 3 too tight, like we saw earlier, that brought out a caution. It can really punish you on the exits through those short chutes. And 2 and 4 are considered to be the more difficult corners on this track, but I'd have to beg to differ. At least in the iRacing sim, the aero wash on Indianapolis Motor Speedway is so great in these Indy cars that getting into 1 and 3, when you are at such top speed, upwards of 215 to 220 miles an hour coming into these corners, it's really hard to make it stick on the bottom. And Andrew Serwick is just wheeling this car around here like an absolute master. But you can see he is trying to avoid the line of the lapped car in front of him. And here's something for those of you who might not understand it, what aero wash is. For those of you who are familiar with Formula One, you'll hear that it's really hard for these cars to follow behind each other. Similar concept. You have less downforce when the car in front of you is putting out a wake, that when you're going through these corners, it is multiplied due to the speeds that you're going through.
They call it dirty air in Formula One, but continue.
Yeah, I mean, it's the exact same concept in IndyCar, where you can see that he is forced to go probably a little bit lower than he would typically want to avoid the wake of the car.
I'm looking at his wheel right now. You can see it. He's dropped a gear there as well, which I haven't seen him drop a gear right now. Up the 6th gear. You can see the revs. So look at the revs on the steering wheel. It doesn't barely drop into the yellows. Mm-hmm. But can you explain all that? So
obviously 5th gear, the lower the gear, the better acceleration you have coming out of a corner, which is why he's dropping down a gear through these corners. At a lot of tracks, though, in the IndyCar, you'll stay in 5th gear unless you're following directly behind somebody, and then you'll bump up to 6th gear just so you don't, hit the rev limiter. But that's what he's doing here, is he is dropping down to 5th gear because he knows that he's going to drop low enough in revs on 6th to get an advantage by dropping to 5th gear. And at a lot of tracks, you don't want to do that, but Indianapolis Motor Speedway, with it being so long and having that short chute in between, it's really advantageous to drop down to 5th gear so you get a good run out of 1 and 2.
To our race director then, Alex, is there, because he's a little bit too far back to show that, to demonstrate that. Is there a way we can demonstrate that between a battle right now to give that impression?
Yeah, let's look at Derek Sack and Craig Bray, who are actually battling for P5 right now. And Craig Bray is less than a second off the back of Derek Stack. And that is where you will see the biggest difference.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see, like how much he's going to change the short shifting and the revs, and that for, us, me, noob, of course, and anybody else that is perhaps not familiar with IndyCar. I want to see like the difference in driving styles, as you say, with the wake and stuff like that.
Yeah, Craig Bray is actually kind of falling off a little bit now. Looks like he might have gotten a little bit too close and had a little bit of a wash up the track. And he's actually falling back a little bit. But further back, actually, we have David McCourt and Brock Whiteman. It's a battle for P8. Brock Whiteman making up some ground on David McCourt. Here we go. This is where you'll start to see some of that difference.
Why is that flashing? Sorry. What was that?
That's when he's... Oh, we're about to have a caution on the track. Wrecking ahead of...
Yeah, that's what that was, I guess.
Wrecking ahead of Brock Whiteman there. That was a big hit into the outside wall. I don't know if he got loose, hit the bottom berm at all. What happened there? But
what a commentator's curse right there. Just went straight on board and saw that on the action. Let's have a look.
Let me see who that was.
Well, we didn't plan that.
I didn't get a chance to see it. No.
We did not
I
plan that.
swear that was not planned. That was. We'll have to go back and take a look. Liam McNeil was the one who ended up smacking into the outside wall. Yeah, there he is in the pit lane. That was a good, healthy 20 laps of green flag racing.
It was fantastic. He was just up the road too, as we were on board with the car a few cars back. Let's have a look what happened.
Oh, he
here.
hit that berm. Oh. Yep, he hit that berm and overcorrected, and that'll get you every time. Rip to Liam.
That took like about a millisecond. How much time do you ever respond to this? Hit it, and then it's like, that's it. You're gone.
Well, at the speed. At the speed you're going here, like these cars around these corners, I don't think there are any similarly radiused corners where you're going around it at 215 miles an hour in Formula One. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, they have runoff areas too in Formula One generally, thankfully.
Whoa, everybody coming in except for a couple.
It's busy down
Armstrong
the pit lane.
actually staying out.
So down to you,
McCourt staying out.
So Snowman, you're out in the Twitch. So how is it down the pit lane at the moment? There's a lot of action going on. Give us a feedback. Who's getting more tires? Who's getting more fuel? And I'm going to put you on the spot there, so Snowman, our friendly reporter here at Apollo Racing Club.
Snowman, I'm taking a look at your questions here. So how do you go faster and pass in the Indy car if all the turns are not that different? Well, it's one of the quirks of oval racing. It's about how you set up the car, because the cars might be engineered the same, but there are different setups that you can do for each driver's comfort level, for how you want to complement the parts that are engineered a little bit, and how you have your engine set up. There are a whole bunch of little tweaks like anti-roll bar, a weight jacker that you can use on ovals, what aero level you want to have on the front and rear wings, even though they are absolutely tiny for ovals. There's a whole bunch of fine-tuning setups that really kind of have to play to what the driver likes and what the crew chief wants to see for the race as a whole.
Well, Keegan, you know when you answer that question would be? I mean, you have another question to follow up that one, and yeah, Keegan will answer that one, but the driver 61, I'm sure you can ask them all those questions, right?
Yeah.
The expert there.
Yeah, driver 61. If you're wondering about oval racing, driver 61 is really the best place to go. But driver performance is everything in IndyCar. That is the biggest differentiator in performance. It's not over-engineered. It's not anything like that. But that's the thing. With oval racing, everything is so fine. It is such a finesse game that a driver's experience with ovals really means everything. And then with road courses, it's the exact same thing as you'd see in Formula One. A driver's ability around road courses is the biggest differentiating factor. How good of a line can you run with the limitations of the car? How well do you know the car? How well do you know the track? How far are you willing to push? All of these things come into play when you're talking about driver skill around both ovals and road courses.
That's something to be definitely interested in asking Andrew, of course, leading the championship, because he does okay in the ovals and the road courses. And obviously, the driver 61. This is actually a new thing, as I'm relatively new to iRacing across all the divisions, from the actual Formula 1 W12 cars to Formula Vs and stuff like that. However, the question that a lot of people get is about setups. How do I get setups? How do I set my car up? Who can help me with my car setups? That's something as well, isn't it? That is very difficult with the iRacing, because it's simulation, of course, and you need to tune the car with, I guess, a basic guide of what you should use for a track, and then you tweak it to your driving style. Yeah, basically.
And there are certain adjustments that a driver can make in a car, like the aforementioned anti-roll bar, weight jacker, and it depends on the car. There are some other things you can adjust on various other things, like engine mapping and stuff like that. But we're about to get back underway with racing here. Lights are out on the pace car, and we will be getting back to green after we exit 4 here. David McCourt is our leader, as he did not take that round of pit stops, and he will have a little bit worse off on tires, but he will, without a doubt, be fast no matter what, as David McCourt always is. Pace car peels off. David McCourt is going to bring the field back around to green. Whoa him up, whoa him up, whoa him up, and he's out and off and getting ready to go to the races. We are green here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. David McCourt leads him. John Krauser's right up on his gearbox. Falling a little bit further behind is Adam Martin.
And David McCourt has not won here since season 2, but he wants to win again, of course. And he's in a red car. And we know in Formula 1 2022, a Ferrari, even if it is not a Ferrari, of course, but it looks like a Ferrari. Can he get it done? He's going to hold off, of course. There's plenty of racing to go, as we're only on lap 62 of 100. But hey, David's looking in a good position, but he's got to make those tires work, of course, as everybody else behind him. A couple of drivers have made some pit stops there, but John and Adam, and also down to Andrew, currently running P4. He's the one that's made the extra pit stop, so keep an eye on him.
David McCourt still out to the lead over John Krauser behind him, finding it difficult to follow in his wake through the corners with the tires being a little bit more dead than those behind him. 23 laps on those tires. They're definitely not feeling too great. Andrew Surowick back in P4. Just pitted on lap 59, so he's going to be marching through the field pretty quickly, because he's already making some advances.
Yeah, so don't worry about it, mate. I know you're asking the questions. You're new to it, as I am. So ask all the questions you want, because you say you're only familiar with Formula 1. Don't worry about it. That's what we hear at Apollo Racing Club, because I tell you what, Keegan's been teaching me a lot about this. It is exciting. It's fun. And ask all the questions you like. And thank you very much for tuning in and enjoying this race.
And I was about to reply to you, Snowman, but I'd rather just tell you in real life. For anyone watching, Snowman asked the question, how are road courses and oval courses both reliant on driver ability and driver performance? They're both reliant on it, just in different ways. Road courses are about track knowledge, about line knowledge, about knowledge of your car, and about knowledge of how far you can push the car in certain corners. Now, oval courses are much more about finesse and precision, like to a hyper degree. Road courses, yes, they require you to be precise to be the fastest possible, but as we saw earlier, oval courses, if you do something 1/100th of a second too late, it can lead to your demise. It can lead to you smacking into the outside wall, and that's just how it ends up working. On oval courses, the biggest thing is being as precise with your timing as possible. Brendan Cowderon actually into the wall further back in the field. That's a big problem for him. He was already a couple laps down.
Yeah, we'll check the replay of this one right now. What happened with Brendan? Is that a self-crash? He's alone. Yeah, there it is. Oh, that's a slight tap, but it's a tap you don't want. That's caused him, to just lose it coming out of the next corner. It's unfortunate for Brendan. It causes a safety car. A pace car, sorry. I'll get used to the terminology you guys have in the United States.
They're interchangeable, honestly. Especially in IndyCar when you have,
it's
more
not
international
an Aston Martin
drivers.
Or a Mercedes, but mate, as I'm getting used to it, but it's a stroke. So Snowman, mate. If you have iRacing and you're interested, obviously, please join.
Yeah.
I do know
join
you, Snowman, I believe, from Formula 1. So jump in, mate, and be a part of this.
Take a look at the ovals. It's not as easy as people like to claim it is. I mean, sure, can you hop in a car and tool around an oval pretty easy? Sure, but you're definitely not going to be fast. Being fast on ovals requires precision, sometimes down to the millisecond. And that is the biggest skill differentiator amongst drivers in ovals.
Yeah, and so Snowman, mate, I used to cast 15 F1 races leagues a week. And I'm hooked on iRacing, and I'm hooked on mobile racing and IndyCars and stuff like that. NASCAR.
David McCourt into the pits. He's going to be the one to take it.
Yeah.
He's actually going to bring
top 4.
John Krauser and Adam Martin all come in. Austin Armstrong further back is also going to take a pit road entrance. Andrew Surowick going to cycle back around to the lead. Now here's the thing. Andrew Surowick, Tanner Long, Cody Barrett, Hayden Robinette, Charles Bertrand, Derek Stack, Brock Whiteman, Craig Bray, as well as to a certain extent RJ Conley and Jake Jackson, all pitted on lap 59. Now, we were anticipating 29 to 33 laps of green flag running on a single tank of gas. That is a bit of a stretch. So this caution alone probably won't get them to the end.
I think they're
They're
gambling
gonna
on
need
multiple cautions, right?
Yeah, they're probably gambling on at least 2 cautions from the time they came in, and this is one of them. Even still, they're almost certainly going to be fuel saving like crazy. If I had to guess, Andrew's probably in engine map 8, which is a low RPM engine map to
Can we go on
save
board
as
to
much
find
fuel
out?
as possible.
Or is that
I'm not sure
hidden?
if iRacing shows that.
Can we show it?
No, iRacing doesn't show it, but he is in 6th gear, so I'm going to tell you he's probably in engine map 8. He is probably in full fuel save.
And by the way, the Nightbot is incorrect out there. I mean, I'm going to sort that out when you have some time there, Keegan, of course, because it's not the F1 stream. But it says this is the F1 stream. Please visit our telemetry site.
No, this is not the F1 stream.
That's
It
what
says
the
if this
Nightbot-
is
Oh.
a F1 stream.
Oh, if.
Yeah.
You got me confused on that one. It's not.
Sir Snowman. Yeah, the precision is required on road courses, but it's not quite to the same extreme as you would see on ovals. Road courses, you need precision to within 1/10 of a second. Ovals, you need
Snowman's
precision to within a millisecond.
No, man, you're quick. Get your butt in here and do some iRacing, man. I know you got some pace. I've seen you in a Formula 1 car. Remember they had the W12s? They had we had the Formula 4s. We got it all. So, yeah, and you got these great gladiators out here that will give you all the advice you need, of course, for Keegan.
Yeah.
And everybody else. So, just cool.
Sir Snowman, understanding a track, sure, yes, it is easier. But it's a lot harder to understand a track and how it is interacting on any given day with the track conditions with the car. That is where the trickiness comes in oval racing, as well as with the cars around you, because oval racing, much more tight and compact than you see on typical road courses like in F1, which it usually gets a long stretched out amount of cars, and pretty soon you have the full course just being a single line. That's not necessarily the case on ovals. On ovals, it's not really a matter of you versus the track. It's you versus the other cars, and then the track is a backdrop to that battle.
Yep, I couldn't agree with that more. That's what I'm learning day by day with IndyCar, NASCAR, Truck Series, and anything in ovals, as you mentioned. Ovals, and I guess it's a different ball game. It's a different playing field, but it's exciting and it's fun, and it's different driving. I guess
that is the biggest differentiator, and kind of in a sentence how you would say it. In road courses, which includes pretty much every international racing series, it's driver versus track. In ovals, it's driver versus other drivers using the track as a backdrop.
And on that, we're going to go green again. We're getting down to the business end of this competition here for the Indy. And here we go once again. So we're going to have Andrew leading the pack there from Tanner, from Cody. And then Tanner's taking an extra pit stop. So we'll see what's going to happen right now. Tanner's the 64 car. 22 leads it. Andrew's off.
Andrew Serwick back out again over Tanner Long, who is a couple cars back, actually, but is making up time pretty quickly. 0.6 back now. But Andrew Serwick just got a huge jump there. Tanner Long going to jump out of line, try and follow these 2 lap cars on his way through. I believe that's Jake Jackson in front of him, actually, trying to get a lap back potentially from Andrew Serwick in front. Further back, that is Derek Stack and Brock Whiteman and Derek Stack. Brock Whiteman is actually going to come up and take the 6th place spot away from him. So Brock Whiteman marching his way back up through the field. Hayden Robinette, who was the other front runner throughout the course of the day, currently running in P4, about a quarter second behind P3, actually. That's a battle that's about to happen. Cody Barrett versus Hayden Robinette for that 3rd place position. And he is flying.
He's not flying, my friend. He's warping to another galaxy with as high as that car, that performance, of course. So we're on 70 of 100, so definitely the business end. If you do not get a caution, we've had a good, at least 15 or so laps of green flag. Could happen at the end of the race.
We actually had 25.
There you go. Who was counting?
Oh,
You were
there
counting.
we go. Yeah, I was counting. And it's so refreshing to see green flag racing here at ARC when we had a bunch of newcomers at the beginning of the season, but the quality of racing has definitely improved. There it is. The move is being made. Hayden Robinette looking to the bottom of the track. Cody Parrott trying to stick it on the outside, and he'll get a good run out of 2. Not quite able to make the move stick that time was Hayden Robinette. Cody Parrott will move back up in front. That's a lapped car in front of them. I can't see the number there. That's the number 2 of DeAndre Young, kind of nosing his way into the middle of that battle. So Hayden Robinette and Cody Barrett will have to wait a second before they get back underway with their little skirmish. And actually, Cody Barrett and Tanner Long potentially getting into it up there. 3/10 back is Cody Barrett.
Will it play into Tanner's hands a little bit, knowing he's got the extra pit stop, so he's got a little bit more fuel, perhaps, so fresher tires?
Maybe. Well, definitely not fresher tires than these guys. He pitted at the same time. And actually, yeah, definitely not as much fuel. He had the extra pit stop, but yeah, I think that was more just for safety's sake and to get online with everybody else.
That's a pit stop that takes you a lot of time. Would you want to do that just for the sake of doing it? When you have track position, you lost a lot of track position doing it. Why would he do that?
Well, he was probably in a position where he wasn't going to lose track position. Like maybe he was at the back of the line. Like if you're at the back of the line, there is absolutely no reason not to come in and pit. It's not like you would see in typical IndyCar where you only have, well, in real life IndyCar, where you only have a certain number of tires to be able to replace across the entirety of the race. Here you have unlimited tires.
Yeah, it's just confusing for me because it's, you know, you're looking at the top 12 separated by 7 seconds. So anything to do with pit lane right now means you're all dropping a lot of positions left, right, and center, and especially on 73 of 100. They're going to give you a lot of time to get some overtakes done.
Yeah. Cody Barrett falling back into the hands of Hayden Robinez. We're looking out the back of Tanner Long's Bitcoin car here. The front few have managed to kind of break away a little bit. Andrew Serwick battling with Tanner Long now. This is the battle for P1, and this is a really effective P1 here, as this is the lead strategy that they're battling for here too. Tanner Long drops to the bottom. He's going to make it stick into 3. Short shoot though. Andrew Serwick's not going to do it here. He's going to look for it on the front straight though. Actually, he's going to look for it out of 3, but that's just going to give Tanner Long a really good run down the front straight. Andrew Serwick's going to tuck back in behind him, right on the gearbox of Tanner Long in front. Andrew Serwick actually being remarkably patient. Not going to go for the move quite yet. He's going to set it up in a couple laps.
He's got plenty of time, of course. He's just hoping he can manage it. He's going to study his prey right now, see where he's going to make a mistake and try to send this one in the inside here, get an overtake done, of course. Plenty of time. Once again, we're 75 of 100 to get some more green flag conditions. You said 25 we can do. Well, we can do another 25 here right now. Finish this race out here. For the Indianapolis
that is not what these front guys want to see. They do not want to see it go green from here on out. Because I'm going to tell you, they cannot last on fuel from here on out. They're going to be probably 2 laps or so short. So look for David McCord potentially to be able to pull it out the rest of the way. He's good. He is good to go the rest of the way. He pitted on lap 66. So he's 100% good and green. Did he chip the outside wall there?
I couldn't see. Maybe. Been damaged. Remember, David McCourt was the first one that won this race back in season 3. And
he did hit the outside wall.
Season 2, sorry, yeah. David wants to win this one, but that could be a little bit of dangerous territory right now for the David.
Yeah, he has damage. He has damage. He's going to have to fall back and go in and take a damage repair. That's a real bummer for David's race, as he was the front runners of that crew who pitted on lap 66. He's going to come in and take the fast repair. He's probably going to retain his lap, but it's going to be really tight on the exit to see if he can keep it ahead of Tanner Long, who has actually managed to pull away from Andrew Serwick up front a little bit. This battle that we're taking a look at here, I believe, is Charles Bertrand and Brock Whiteman.
Charles currently running in P5, Brock running in P6. Crucial positions here. They've taken a pit stop each at the moment. Charles has had an extra pit stop, so he's on 3. Derek's on 2. Don't worry about that. Also a little bit on the party there. Austin might be joining this one. That's Austin Armstrong there running in P9, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah.
This is the battle for first here, I believe. Yeah, this is the battle for first. Tanner Long still out front, kind of battling it out with a couple lap cars, and David McCourt's actually going to lose a lap there to Tanner Long. He's going to go around the outside of him. David McCourt's just going to try and stay up there with him, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hang for the moment. Instead, just going to tuck himself in right behind Andrew Serwick, who is still trying to get around this lap car that is separating him and Tanner Long. Further back, that's a battle for P3 we have back there. Hayden Robinette and Cody Barrett, they are going at it, slicing and dicing around through these corners. On the outside, Cody Barrett's going to try and make it stick, but Hayden Robinette is going to keep it on the inside. He had the advantage through the corners, but big run out of it goes Cody Barrett. Preferred line still goes to Hayden Robinette, but he's not going to have a really great run out of this corner into the short chute. Still going to be in favor of Cody Barrett, and tucking in behind him is Hayden Robinette, having a hard time making these passes stick.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard time. A good green flag racing at the moment. 22 to go here for the Indianapolis race here at the Apollo Racing Group. It's the Indianapolis 250, half of the 500, but certainly as exciting, if not more exciting, as we're having a couple of caution flags. We're having some fantastic green flag racing right now. Tanner leading this race from Andrew. Andrew leading the championship as well, too. Looking good for some more points there. Hayden running in P3. Cody, Charles, Brooke, Derek, Stack, and Craig Bray are battling. But what's going on at the moment is a little bit of a run.
Nobody has a run on anybody right now, actually. We have a pretty spaced out field up at the front. Whoa, that's a bit loose. And there's some slicing and dicing. I believe there was contact there. Brock Whiteman might have gotten into the inside of Charles Bertrand. We still race on.
That's what I'm telling you about a run, mate. That's what I'm telling you about a run. It's getting spicy. It's spicy. What'd you expect here?
Yeah, Charles Bertrand now is actually running right up behind Cody Barrett. Gonna look to make a move. Can't quite get it done into 3. We'll have to wait to try another run into 1, but he's going to have to keep it up right on the back of Charles Bertrand, or sorry, of Cody Barrett in front of him. Can't quite stick it. He's going to have to set him up for a lap or two, because we're at the point where those tires, like I said, are starting to fade off. They're starting to fade away. It's really hard to follow close through the corners due to that aero watch.
20 to go as well. So if you're thinking about pit stop, you have to do it absolutely right now. Otherwise, you have to commit this to the end of the race or pray on a caution. But we don't want a caution, of course, at the moment. 19 to go. Just by pretty quickly here in Indianapolis.
I'll tell you who's absolutely saying a prayer right now. The man running in P9, the 49 of Austin Armstrong. He is saying his Hail Marys right now as he is just praying this goes green to the end. He knows that all of the people in front of him, the top 8, none of them have the fuel to make it to the end yet. He's good. He's green. He's golden. He's just hoping this stays green. Oh,
where did you jump down that key? How did you find out that they had the fuel to run the end? Where do you get that information from?
My brain. And the last time they pitted.
You're crunching some numbers right now, so Will, your job is replaced. Keegan's got you as an engineer now.
Well, so here's the thing. If you aren't fuel saving, you can make it for 31 laps around here. If you are fuel saving slightly, you can make it 33 laps around here. With just a little bit of extra fuel saving, you can make it 34, and that's how many laps he had to make it to the end from his last pit stop. So we can expect to see him go for the rest of the time. But like I said, Tanner Long, Serwick, Robinette, Barrett, Bertrand, everybody up there from the top 8 and from 8th place and up, none of them can make it to the end. Their last pit stop was on lap 59. 41 laps is a huge stretch, especially under green flag, which is why I said they're hoping for another caution here.
But Tanner has a 8-second gap right now down to Craig. So couldn't he just lift a little bit and save lift and coast? Save some fuel?
So here's the thing. These cars are going so fast around IMS, and it's so aero dependent that lifting a little bit through these corners will absolutely eat your differential up very quickly.
So he'd lose like an 8-second gap, and how long if he was to lift right now, say Tanner leading this race?
Well, Long only has a 1-second gap back to Surwick at the moment.
Yeah, but Sarik's on the same fuel, right?
Yeah, Surwick's on the same fuel, and he has a couple seconds. Well, so here's the thing: as you start to fall back through, you're gonna need to keep your position with the guys back, because if you do have to pit, you're still jockeying for position with those other guys that you pitted with.
I think Charles jockeying for position right now on Cody 27 car versus the 34.
No, they're actually not jockeying for position right now. I think Charles is over his second back from Cody. Field fairly spaced out at the moment.
You are right.
But Hayden Robinette is looking to try and make up some ground on Andrew Surwick here.
Can we go on board with Andrew at the moment, the championship leader, and just have a look from his cockpit?
Andrew Surwick into the wall.
We didn't need to go on board with him. Did he? We commentate cursed him. He still got the pace, but he still has the pace.
His steering is off a little bit. No, he lost a lot of speed on that. And you can see it there. There's another impact into the wall. He's going to collect David McCourt with him.
Oh, no.
My goodness. That's not the first time this season these two have gotten into each other, and that's going to bring out our 8th caution of the day with 14 to go. And Andrew Surwick trying to stretch it out will not pay off.
So David McCourt's won this race event in Season 2. Andrew's won it in Season 4. Andrew's leading the championship right now. Both of them are looking in big trouble with 14 to go.
Meanwhile, up front, Tanner Long, the driver leading the race, has never won here at Indianapolis. Not a single time. Maybe looking at another first-time winner. Depends on how Tanner Long handles these last 10 laps or so. And though he's probably good to the end, it's still not 100% guaranteed. Everybody, this might be our last caution of the day, so let me take this opportunity to tell you about one of our other sponsors here for the Apollo Racing Club IndyCar Season 6, and that is Grid Finder. Grid Finder is one of the best league accumulation sites on the internet. It's not just for iRacing either. If you're into F1, ACC, Assetto Corsa, or any of the other fantastic sims that are out there on the market, you can go on there. They have so many sim leagues on there and registered. You can go search whatever vehicle you want, whatever time zone you're in, whatever day of the week you want to see, and get a list of a bunch of really good leagues. In fact, Grid Finder approved leagues are screened by Grid Finder themselves, and we're happy to note that ARC is one of those Grid Finder approved leagues. So if you want to check out Grid Finder, go to grid-finder.com and find your next field today.
They might find me out there too, my friend, because I'm definitely signed up to Grid Finder, and I'm out there as a broadcaster, of course, for many of the races, as you mentioned.
I think you need to get behind the wheel sometime, Dean.
Absolutely not. No, do not do that.
No. I think you need to get behind the wheel sometime.
No. I'll do it in real life. 100% real life. I'm good in real life. I'm just not good in the Sims. But there's plenty of sim opportunity. Driver can help me out, one of those sponsors. But Grid Finder is absolutely fantastic. And I actually joined the Discord, mate. And there is a lot of people asking out there for drivers and leagues and all that sort of jazz as well too. But get the Grid Finder. You don't know Grid Finder.
Oh, Andrew Surwick might have lucked out. Like really lucked out. The entire front of the field came in and pitted again. Andrew Surwick used his fast repair and is now up in P5.
Wow.
He's fallen back due to an EOL penalty, but he is going to retain that lap that he could have potentially lost.
You naughty boy, Andrew. Lead the championship, but hey, I tell you what, it ain't over. Certainly not with Andrew. Man leading the championship for a reason. Man has won here in Season 4. Going to be a lot of work to do, of course, to win it. John is now in the lead of this race there from Adam Martin, Tanner Long, and Charles Bernard. Sorry, I'm really bad at names. But yeah. I'm horrible with drivers' names.
Taking a look at right now, folks, John Krauser currently leading the race, but he does have, so it's him and Adam Martin right behind him that have tires that are now going on 24 laps old. Meanwhile, in third place, Tanner Long, completely fresh rubbers. So
yeah, but
he's going to be marching through pretty quickly, and it's really going to be hard for John Krauser to fend him off for the remaining 10 laps that we're going to have when we go green.
Well, maybe, Keegan, that John saved 10% off his tires and got his tire repairs done. Oh, of course, one of our sponsors will be the Apollo Racing Club. Get your tires in there, and we'll sort you out any day of the week. Wheel alignments are free if you get a new set of boots this evening. So, where's the sponsor again? Wait, we don't have one. We should have a tire sponsor.
That would be great. Get sponsored by Pirelli.
Yeah, Pirelli. Pay attention. I'm still waiting for Rolex to sponsor
us.
Time penalty awards, of course, that occur as well too. Because if you had a Rolex, you would be on time all the time.
I think Rolex would want to sponsor the Rolex Fastest Time Award, right?
No, it was a penalty award. I use it all the time for Formula One. Hey, they get time penalties, right? Because
I mean,
yeah. So if you had a Rolex, it's sharp. Be on time all the time. I keep saying it. Rolex. Pay attention. But anyway, realistically, for advertising, of course, tires would be more beneficial because, hey, who can afford a Rolex, right? At the end of the day.
Actually, for sim racing, Thrustmaster sponsorship. There we go.
Oh, Butt Kicker is a good one.
Thrustmaster, Butt Kicker, Logitech even.
Yeah. Pay attention, guys.
Hey, let's go. Get those sponsorship dollars rolling in.
They should be, man, because this is a great league. You guys put a lot of effort into it. Of course, don't shout out Alex doing all the broadcasting. Will that pace car pull into the pit lane, or are we going to go for another lap?
Nope. Pace car will pull into pit lane here, and it's going to be in the hands of John Krauser to lead us off for the 10 to go sign here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He's going to get a good jump. Adam Martin not quite prepared for it. Behind him, Tanner Long not quite prepared for that either, and we are green here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway as John Krauser gets a good 0.4 of a second lead over Adam Martin into turn number 1. And I believe someone actually might have smacked the wall further back, Brock Whiteman falling back pretty quickly, but I believe he managed to get off the track and away. So expect him to be pulling into the pits pretty soon. Adam Martin trying to fend off Tanner Long, who is vying for that second place position, but Tanner has that preferred inside line. Fighting back on the outside is Adam Martin, and he'll be able to take it back and wrench Tanner Long back behind him.
We got 10 to go. If our racer director can go on with the action at the moment, I want to hear inside the cockpit, inside the revs, feel these machines, feel the power around Indianapolis. Doesn't that feel good?
Oh, yeah. Beautiful view. Ripping around this speedway at 220 miles an hour. Adam Martin still holding on to that second place position. Watching Tanner Long having to fight off Robinette. Best thing he could see in his rear view. And you know that he's going to be kind of taking a sigh of relief at that one.
Yeah, it's almost like McLaren livery at the moment. He wants them to battle each other out because we can sit there, but he's got to try to work on John leading this race. That's going to be the key because we're obviously on board of Adam Martin. That's gained 10 positions currently at the moment in this race. Behind him is Tanner Long. It's tangling right now with Hayden. And that's going to be it because we're getting down to definitely the business end, my friend. We're about 8 laps to go. If we can get green flag to the end, this will be an exciting way to wrap up the Indianapolis 250. They're going to be going tooth and nail. Nothing John needs to worry about as he's going to start a new lap.
Caution, caution,
crashing.
caution, as we have a crash further back in the pack. As I believe that is Armstrong into the outside wall of one of the turns. And that's going to bring out our 9th caution of the day with 7 to go. I'm expecting probably a 3 or 4 lap shootout to finish this race off.
That's going to be good, isn't it, for John? Playing his favor as well with Adam. So they'll and Adam Martin and John Khrushchev.
Well, before we start talking about that, let's talk about what happened here with Austin Armstrong.
By himself as well? He lost it up into the wall? Yep.
No, yep. Just couldn't hold on to it through the corner.
We need to go talk to that wall about that. That wall should not have come out and hit that car. That wall is definitely under report.
Dude.
Wall gets an end of line.
Wall gets an end of line penalty.
Yep. There it is.
I'm going to protest it to iRacing because of a bad rejoin.
Let's have a look. It's unfortunate.
Oh, wait a minute. This is an F3. Anyway.
We won't talk about your racing the other day, but anyway.
No, listen here. That's F4. Okay. F3 is well, I can't say that word on stream. It's a complete crap show.
I can do it for you.
Let's say that.
There it is.
There we go.
Oh, that tire's hanging out there. That's a souvenir for the audience. You can just jump the fence and throw that tire out there. But anyway, that is what it is. Back in pit lane, unfortunately there for Austin Armstrong, but still running in P15. Let's see if we can get rejoined there. But so we're going to have a sprint race right now. Definitely, aren't we? So John and Adam.
Faking it was Robinette. Robinette acting like he was going to go in the pits, ends up pulling back out at the last second. Further back, Andrew Sirwick is going to take the pit opportunity just to top up on gas, get a fresh set of rubbers for this. Probably going to be 3 to go when we.
Why would you box right now?
Well, so he was at the end of the line. There's no reason not to. Might as well get fresh tires. Mean?
So where does he jump back into?
He's just going to jump back into the same position he was at.
Which was?
10th. There's absolutely no reason not to come into pits if you're at the end of the line right now.
Okay, so he'll have some
which is why Andrew
maybe get what 8th or 7th max, I'd say, with 8 to go or 7 to go.
I mean, any amount of positions you can make up from here is positive.
Championship leader as well too.
He's had such an unfortunate day. But so any positions he can make up at this point is going to be good for him, which is why he's coming in getting fresh tires. There was literally no reason not to. When he physically can't lose positions.
He didn't sign my autograph when around there before, so I'm going to talk to him later, of course. But here we go. John Khrushchev is leading this one from Adam Martin, Tandelon, and Hayden Rubete. I pronounced this one correctly.
Are you okay?
Absolutely not.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
John Krauser, Adam Martin, Tanner Long, Hayden Robinette, and Charles Bertrand, our top 5.
There you go. See? You know what you're doing?
Only the top 2, John Krauser and Adam Martin, pitted at lap 66. They're good to go to the end on fuel. The question is, will they be able to battle the likes of Tanner Long and Hayden Robinette behind them when Tanner and Hayden have completely fresh tires?
I expect the safety car is in. You're right. So Tanner Long has taken 4 pit stops, 3 for Hayden, only 2 for John and Adam. So fuel, tires, whatever it takes.
They were full on the 2-stop strategy. And it's working for him.
But they're going to have 4 laps or so just to hold them off. You know it takes about a lap until you get close enough.
It's going to be 3 to go when we go green here. And if I see the lights out on the pace car, at least, which I think I do. But it's going to be 3 to go when
Alex
is
driving the pace car. Alex is driving the pace car and doing the broadcast at the same time. He's doing it from a laptop in the pace car. Alex, you can bring that anytime you want, mate. Good on you. Don't you brake check me, Alex. We're having fun, of course.
He just brake tested me.
Yeah, he did brake test. Alex does that sometimes.
He just completely moved off the racing line and brake tested me.
Hey, what are you going to do? It's Alex. All right. We need him. He's doing a fantastic job. That pace car of Alex should be in a second and get to focus on that one. So we're going to have, what, your 3 to go, give or take?
3 to go.
So,
3 to go at the restart.
I think we should go to a commercial break right now and just come back.
Okay, this isn't NASCAR. Shush. All right. So, 3 to go. I don't know about you, Dean, but I kind of want to be in Tanner's position right now. Fresh tires. You've got 3 laps to go. The 2 in front of you are not only on colder tires, but older tires, colder and older. That is never a good combination. I kind of want to be where Tanner's at right now. In fact, prediction time, bold prediction time, I think Tanner wins this race.
I want to be in John's position right now. He's going to get a run. He's going to have a good run into the next lap. So he'll have 1 to go. So here it is. And yeah, it's going to be a bold and move here to see if you can hit the gas pedal. Remember, the tires are a little bit colder, but even if you have fresh tires, it doesn't matter. The time is not on your side. John's off. Let's find out what happens with Adam and Tanner, as you mentioned. Adam, Martin, and Tanner Long.
Don Krauser gets out to a big jump. Tanner Long breathing down the neck of Adam Martin behind him. Has a little bit of space over the back, and that's a caution. We're going to end this race under caution, in fact. It's going to be John Krauser taking the win in the Indy 250. What brought out this 10th caution of the day? Jake Jackson actually had a spin further back. We'll have to see
a little bit
what happened.
Eager, isn't it, on these advancing situations? But let's find out. Oh, it is. It's like get rid of the stadium.
This is right off the restart.
It must be a self-loss.
Yep. So what happened there, for those of you who might potentially be unawares of oval racing, he turned in too late. And Arrow might have had a bit of a part to play here, but he just turned in too late. It almost looked like he lost focus. And then, he just turns in too late, tries to overcorrect for turning in too late, and hooks it.
Well, I'll tell you what, John, the man leading this race right now, will probably buy him a beer a little bit later, going, wow, thank you very much for having a little bit of a mistake on that one.
Before he drinks that beer, he's going to have to drink some milk, because he's going to be the winner here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Kiss the bricks, drink the milk. Yeah.
Milk?
Yeah.
I know, it's a tradition.
Okay.
I know.
I was going to say, wait a minute here. Hold on a second. You're a racing fan? You sure about that?
You owe me an apology, because I told you John was going to win this one, and you're just like, no, you're confident.
I was also assuming green flag for 3 laps, but that's not the case.
You have to cast 15 leagues a week to start guessing in my league at the moment, but it's been fantastic. John's done it, mate. 6 positions gained. That's all you need. And think about Adam Martin, 10 gained, and Tanner Long, 12 gained. And this is Indianapolis, the one you want to win.
Yeah.
John's going to be stoked. This is the first time he's won this race, I believe.
John Krauser, this is the first win for him, I believe, in ARC. I don't think he's ever won a race here.
So just to confirm to everybody, we don't go green flag racing again. We'll finish this race under caution, because sometimes you can do a couple of caution laps and then finish it. But either way, he's going to win because he's in P1.
This is the final lap of the race. He's going to win here.
He doesn't want to win under caution. He wants to win at 1,000,000 miles an hour, because he's been going at 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Great strategy call from John Krauser and Adam Martin, though. They played that fuel mileage game absolutely perfectly today, and it's going to give him that P1 and P2. Unfortunate day, though, for Andrew Serwick and David McCourt as well. David McCourt just taking a beating this season in the standings. Has not really had a lot of luck. Yeah, he got a podium last week at Spa with P2, but a really horrible race at Road America, as well as a subpar race at Auto Club. It's just really unfortunate for him so far this season. He's going to actually finish P14 today.
So it seems to be the Apollo Racing Club curse at the moment, because Season 2, David, Season 3, Tyler, Season 4, Andrew, Season 5, James, and Season 6, John. So it seems to be if you want to win the Apollo Racing Club Indy 250, well, you have to be a new face, a new driver. And that's what it's all about. John will wrap this one up to get that trophy. We'll get the Brickyard, we'll get the milk, and he'll win. Best race of all races for the season. It's early season, of course, still plenty of races to go, but this is the one you want in your trophy cabinet.
Yeah, this is the crown jewel of the ARC season, and John Krauser will be our first-time winner at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, joining the likes of David McCourt, Tyler Reed, Andrew Serwick, and James Williamson. And this is actually a huge boon for him too, not to take away from his achievements today. He's had some subpar finishes throughout the course of the season, but I mean, this is going to jump him right back up into contention. His first 4 races of the season were 11th, 13th, 19th, and 14th. So, yeah, getting a win here is definitely a huge boon for his challenge for the title.
First podium and first victory, and he's like set the Indianapolis standard that everybody wants. All those great, contenders. Andrew out there, of course. David McCraft, that's won it before. Charles, that was a legend around Spa, wasn't here. Joshua, I mean, everybody here trying to battle it out, and guess what? He just stole the show. He was like, guys, who wants the milk? I want the milk.
And Adam Martin actually coming in second today, but was actually 5th in the points. He's gonna close that gap quite a lot, and I expect him to be in 4th, maybe even 3rd by the end of the tabulation for today. But here are the final results, everybody. John Krauser taking the win, Adam Martin in 2nd, and Tanner Long rounding out the podium, Hayden Robinette in 4th, and Charles Bertrand rounding out the top 5. We'll be getting to our interviews here in just a moment. But, Dean, it was really great to see the Green Flag Racing stint that we had today. 25 laps around here at Green Flag. Always great to see, including Green Flag pit stops and all of it.
Yeah, 2 hours and change into this race, and it can go a lot worse than that, of course, as you know. But Apollo Racing Group, a great racing crew, of course, and drivers. A couple of cautions, as to be expected. But most of those cautions, I would have to say today, were just self-driver errors. Just a little bit low on the gas pedal, as you'd mentioned earlier, going in too much on the inside there, or the wall coming out and slapping the drivers. But this has been some fantastic racing, so you can't take it away. And hey, if I could race, I would join this league.
Still waiting on getting our interviewees in here, but we're going to go to a quick break, everybody, and we'll be back in just a moment interviewing the top 3 from today. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, we are back, and we have our first interview of the night with our third place tonight, Tanner Long. Tanner, congratulations on the podium.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I think it should have been a win, but sometimes the strategy doesn't go your way. So, but
Yeah, we were talking about that quite a lot during the race, where there was a lot of difference on strategy. I believe your previous pit stop to your pit stop on lap 88 was on lap 59. We had some questions about whether you guys were going to be able to go to the end, and given the fact that you pitted on lap 88 for that second to last caution, it am I correct in assuming that you did not have the fuel to go to the end?
yeah, I was about 7 laps short. And Andrew and I were on the same strategy, so we were doing some fuel calculations under one of the cautions and knew the MPG numbers we would have to hit, and we were both running in map 5 and just could not hit them. So I decided to put it in map 1, and that's when I passed Andrew for the lead and hope for a caution, and that all worked out except for the 2 cars that it worked out better for. So
Yeah, so I mean, they played the fuel game incredibly today,
yeah,
but
for sure.
you really tried to stretch it out. So I'm assuming you were anticipating more cautions than we had.
I was hoping for them. I said I'm just going to take the risk. I'm going to go take the lead some laps, keep my nose clean, and the nice thing was getting past RJ and some of the lap cars. I was able to keep that right front on it a little bit. But yeah, I took the risk, and it all worked out in the end, other than those 2 spots.
Yeah. Well, unfortunate that you couldn't get the win today, but good third place.
Yeah. It was a good race. It was nice to get some green flag running in for sure.
Oh yeah.
And Tanner, mate, winning Indianapolis on the podium is a great feeling, especially not to mention in the championship. Andrew finished behind you. David McCourt finished behind you. Matthew Rice finished behind you. Jake Jackson finished behind you. And Adam finished behind you. You got a whole lot of points here, mate. Now, going into, obviously, in the next round of the championship after that, you're going to be looking pretty solid, mate. This is, it's got to feel good.
It does feel good. The one caveat to that is that I am missing the last 3 races because I'm going to be on my honeymoon. So, yeah.
Oh, no.
So there's no title hopes for me, but that's okay. We'll hopefully get a win before I leave and move on to next season.
Can we get some honeymoon, just honeymoon points there? Just give you like a couple of points for each week you're off.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah, that would be great.
I think that'd be fair, right? Anyway,
I'll send you guys pictures.
I tell you what, mate, you're going to have a lot more fun as much as you've had on the podium here this evening in your honeymoon. And absolutely congratulations on that, mate. And enjoy your time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
No problem. Have a good one, Tanner.
Yep, you too.
Next up, we're going to have our second place runner up, who will be Adam Martin, but he appears to have left the conversation. So we might end up having to skip Adam, unfortunately. I was really hoping to talk to him.
Too much milk.
Too much milk. He was
lactose intolerant. There it is.
He was in the splash zone from John's celebration. So
wow.
We're gonna skip over Adam Martin here as he is nowhere to be found. But we're going to go right to our winner here tonight. Oh, by the way, congratulations to Adam Martin on the victory. But you know what? Let's get our winner in here.
Adam was P2.
Congratulations on the Indy 250 victory. John Krauser, you become the first-time winner of the Indy 250 in the Apollo Racing Club. How you feeling right now?
Guys, I'm still kind of shaking. That's how I'm feeling. It's just unbelievable. It's my first iRacing league win too, not only the Indy 250.
What a way to do it.
Yeah, so David and I and DJ, we are all strategized, and we had decided we're going to target lap 35 to pit. And when everybody pitted under yellow, we decided to stay out. So we had to pit under green. Thought the race was over. At one point, Andrew Serwick was 2 places behind me, 6 seconds. I was asking David, I said, are we done for? Is this it? And unfortunately, the cautions and just David, when he got the lead, we and I, we partnered together to make sure we took off the right time. And I never tried to overtake him. It was always just, hey, we're going to work together, take the slipstream. Unfortunately, David had his incident, but when everybody pit, I was somehow in front, and I was just, I had to actually ask David how to control the field.
Well, yeah. Well, real quick, mate. Absolutely fantastic. The Indy is the one, the trophy. It's almost the trifecta of all races you want to win. You've done it. Now you haven't had the best of season, mate. No, you never even stepped on the podium. You've really had that you finished 20th, 18th, 12th. Guess what? Number 1, P1, and guess what? You're an Indy. You've done it. The Brickyard is yours. What a fantastic race.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, this season, my gosh, I'll tell you, Texas was just bad mistake. Auto Club, bad mistakes. Of course, Road America, I was caught in that incident. But then Spa, I felt top 5, and I made the mistake at Spa. So
Yikes.
for me, this is huge redemption for me. It just feels amazing, guys. It really does.
Well, this does just propel you right back into the running for this championship. And I believe David, our league administrator, has actually just put up the standings after this one. Let's see how far that pushed you up. That pushed you up into P7 in the standings at 119 points. You are now only 64 out of the lead. So that is a huge boon for you. And that really sets you up where if you can take this momentum and roll through the rest of the season, you'll be in a good spot.
Yeah, I hope so. I see Laguna's coming up. I love Laguna. It was one of my favorite tracks last season. Had some great battles.
Are we seeing the first potential double win victory?
Ooh, maybe.
In Apollo?
What do you think?
Chances
of back-to-back?
Unlikely. I think David, of course, Joseph, DuPont, etc. Charles Bertrand. Those are some big heavy hitters here. So maybe I can get top 5. That'd be amazing. But I'm just gonna savor this one.
Well, that's probably a good way to look at it. Go 1-0 every week, and you went 1-0 this week. Congratulations, John, on your fantastic Indy 250 win. Go enjoy a tall glass of milk and kiss those bricks for us. All right.
He's lactose intolerant, so
no, that's actually me. I would die.
No, yeah, you did it, mate. John, well done. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks, guys, and I can't wait to watch the stream back. As always, love the commentary, love the stream, and excited to check it out. And also, too, props to the Tuesday stream as well. That was really good to watch.
Hey, you hear that? Great job, Dean. And
I know what you're talking about. I'm sitting here with a whole bunch of milk flowing over me at the moment. He's pouring over me. Thank you very much for that compliment.
Yeah, you're welcome. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for everything. Looking forward to next week.
Looking forward to next week too. Have a good one, John. Go enjoy your victory.
I shall.
Well, folks, that ends everything here tonight for the Apollo Racing Club at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the 5th annual Indy 250. And to remind everybody, we have the Apollo Racing Club iRacing F4 Championship on Tuesday coming up this week. We are at, if I can look up the schedule. Man,
really, you're racing there. Your engineer should have told you.
Well, I'm also the league admin. I should have known this by heart, right?
Well, you're very busy, mate. I understand, of course.
This week, we're coming up to Sebring International Raceway. $25 prize pool to be earned there. And your very own Dean Biggle is going to be bringing the broadcasting for that one. If you haven't gone and checked out the F4 League at Apollo Racing Club, it is truly a treat to watch some great racing all the way back through the pack. And it's truly something that's awesome to watch. A lot of skilled drivers, a lot of really great racing. It's a blast. Come check it out.
There was a lot of skill races apart from maybe no. I'm gonna pick on you. You're the boss. I'll tell you what.
What do you mean?
I loved it. And you know, the Apollo Racing Club jet fueled it up. We were there. I had the beef. I have to talk to you about that one. I have a beef about your beef. It was a little bit chewy, but anyway, it was exciting. Thank you. Secret stepped in there and helped cast that one last minute. So tune into that obviously next week as well too. Hey, can we not shout out the man himself that's been all the brilliant broadcasting behind the scenes there?
Ah, yes. And to our broadcaster, thank you very much, Alex Light, for bringing everything behind the scenes. Thank you, everybody out there as well, for coming and tuning in to the ARC Indy 250, the 5th annual. Next week, we'll be bringing it live from Southern California and the deserts of Laguna Seca. But that is all for us for this week. Have a good night, everybody. Go enjoy some milk, and we will see you all next week.